understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
When I eat a brain, I get visions.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
You have failed this city.
Jesus, what kind of a preacher are you?
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
Because where I'm from, your grandson becomes the greatest hero in the universe.
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, January 19th, 2019. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined.
And I'm Sara, academic by day, freelance writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And friends, we have 2 new episodes this week. Our first dual new episode podcast of 2019.
Yes, and one of them is a mid-season premiere.
And quite a busy one.
Yes, yeah, a lot going on. We're busy here. Yeah. You enjoying January so far?
Very much. I'm actually a little concerned as our regular shows start ramping back up this coming week because we've got the return of Supergirl and Arrow and Black Lightning. Because I got to be honest, my husband and I have started rewatching Chuck. And it's been so delightful. And we're going to lose a lot of our TV viewing time as those shows start returning, which is a bummer because let me tell you, friends, a rewatch of a 10-year-old spy show starring Zachary Levi, good stuff. So
yeah,
this is the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel's fault. He guest starred on that, and we just went down this rabbit hole. So that's how I've been passing my January. How are you doing?
Well, I'm in a bit of a quandary here because as listeners may know, I've done it 2 years in a row, successfully seen every movie nominated for an Oscar before the ceremony. And we have a 3-day weekend this week because of Martin Luther King Day. And unfortunately, the weekend ends the day before nominations are announced. So I don't know which foreign movie I should go into Manhattan to try to see.
That actually, that seems like something that the Academy would want to think about in terms of the time. No, I'm serious. In terms of the timing of their announcement. When are people going to get a chance to see things? Maybe announce it before the long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a best guess?
I do. I'm pretty sure Cold War is going to get nominated because it's this Polish black and white movie, which is
sounds cheerful.
Oh yes, it has to be bone crushingly depressing. But then there's this Japanese movie called Shoplifters, and there's all these other things I'm hearing about. Plus, on the documentary side, is Free Solo going to be a thing?
I think I would say yes, actually.
Okay.
I have opinions about that one. That seems to have been very well received, and I hear a lot of buzz about it. So
yeah, but
I would say see Free Solo.
Yeah, there's a lot of good documentaries out there. There's a lot of good stuff out there. I mean, there's like the big 3 that everyone talks about, which are 3 Identical Strangers, RBG, and Won't You Be My Neighbor? And I have a sneaking suspicion one of those 3 are not going to get in. But I don't, I don't know if RBG has the legs, but, and if it doesn't, people will be very upset. There's always one documentary that doesn't get nominated that everyone is up in arms over. Last year, it was this, Jane Goodall documentary called Jane, which I saw and was really good. But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot going on, with the Oscar nods this year, and I've been very good. I've got all of the major ones. The ones I haven't seen are mostly on demand or streaming right now. So, oh man, and the shorts. Forget about the shorts. I never know what to do with the short films.
I'm not sure the Oscar people expect viewers to have seen any of the shorts, do they?
Yeah,
I know some theaters do the come for a day of, but Oscar kind of throws up his hands and says, I mean, you didn't see any of these, so the Oscar goes to.
which is a shame because most of them are pretty good. Some of them are terrible. Some of the Oscar nominated shorts are you wonder why, and it's mostly because people don't make that many short films nowadays.
So that's how you get your Oscar, friends.
Yeah,
make a short film.
Yeah. Which, by the way, could we make that a thing? I just wish, like, when I go see a movie, if you had a 5 or a 10-minute short film instead of the extra 20 minutes of trailers, just throw in a short film in there.
Oh, that's delightful.
I think that could be fun. A nice little palate cleanser.
Like the Pixar model, like the little animated short before your Pixar main event.
Exactly. But, like, why don't we do that with every movie? Like when I go to see a Spider-Man movie, could I get, like, I don't know, could I get a 5-minute Black Cat movie right before it? When I go,
that'd be cool.
When I go see Aquaman, could I see an Atom movie? A 5-minute short on the Atom right before that? That would be cool. Or Hawkman? I don't know.
Only if it stars Brandon Routh.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't even have to tie in. It could just be, when I go see John Wick 3, if I could see, a little action movie, like, maybe bringing back, I don't know, let's give Chuck Norris can last 10 minutes in a movie. He could hold his own. I don't know. These are things I think about.
In the universe of names that were going to come out of your mouth, I would never have guessed Chuck Norris.
Well, I was trying to think of someone from the canon era, and Charles Bronson's dead, and I couldn't remember the.
Sure, guys, send Ed all your Chuck Norris shorts.
Yes,
that's the takeaway.
All right.
And I don't mean films. I mean, like, literally the short pants that Chuck Norris has worn on his body. Send them to him.
No, Walker always wore jeans. That was the show you'll watch when you stay over your grandma's house on the weekend. She loved her Walker Texas Ranger.
I mean, all grandmas do, I think. So
yes.
let me beat the drum for how Chuck is actually part of our podcast universe, because you've got, Captain Marvel, Shazam,
yes,
in the lead. You've got Bryce Larkin, played by Matt Bomer, who is Negative Man in upcoming Doom Patrol, and then we're going to get Brandon Routh at some point in season 4, who goes on, of course, to be a multiple DC people. So it's basically the DC training grounds, as far as I'm concerned. Chuck.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta jump on that. Where is it streaming?
Wait, have you not seen Chuck?
No, I haven't.
What?
It's
on Amazon Prime.
Okay, that was one of those shows, like, back, before, like, On Demand and stuff was a thing, where I missed the pilot and just never got around to it.
Fair. Well, it's goofy and funny, and I think it really holds up. And it's Yvonne Strahovski as a super hot spy, and Adam Baldwin as a super grumpy spy, and it's so good. It's really a lot of fun. So
good.
I will try to do better about watching some of the Oscar movies, and maybe you give the Chuck pilot a try.
All right. Let's jump.
Hey,
into
do you want
the
to talk
episode.
about DC TV?
Yes. Let's
Fine.
do that. It's 8 minutes in. People are waiting. All right. Let's jump in.
Insert Judge Judy gif pointing at the watch, slamming on the bench.
All right. Our first episode is The Flash. Mid-season 5 premiere. The Flash and the Furious. In 2049, Nora wrestled over whether she should trust Eobard Thawne now that she knows what he has done to her father. On her first day back at work, Cecile brought Weather Witch to trial and became overcome by a feeling of remorse from the defendant. Silver Ghost used her metatech to steal a car, break out Weather Witch, and cause Barry to involuntarily vibrate at a dangerous level. Cisco made a breakthrough with the satellite shards and fought with Caitlin over whether he should develop a cure for metahuman abilities. Last minute reveal, while working on the cicada case, Sherlock found Gideon and discovered that all of the computer entries on Nora had been deleted.
I don't even know where to start. There was so much happening.
Yeah, there was a lot going on here. We had Future going back and forth. We had our hero secluded, unable to do things. We had Nora learning stuff. We had a moral, ethical quandary between Caitlin and Cisco. It was all over the place.
It really was a lot of beats. I guess I would start with, oh my God, don't trust Eobard Thawne. I don't understand how that's even a question. No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but he taught her how to use her powers. That's kind of the sense I'm getting, is that he was the one who got her away from her mom and told her that she has powers. So, I think she kind of feels indebted to him a little bit for that. But yeah. Now that she knows that he's basically a monster.
I keep your heart open and second chances and all that, but maybe not for him.
Oh, and what did you think of the imprisoned Thawne's Tom Cavanaugh with the blonding hair, where it looked like
couldn't focus on anything except his Christian Bale Batman voice, and wondering if that's how he played that particular character when he was doing it regularly. Was he Bat Bale in his delivery in the past?
I don't think it wasn't that deep, dark voice, but there was definitely a change in his demeanor. I remember that you could kind of see that he was more serious and more menacing. So I guess the voice is just kind of toppling onto that.
But you're right. I guess I didn't really lock into that, but he did have blonder hair. Huh, yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if it was just kind of because remember, you had a different actor playing him, playing the proper Thawne. So I don't know if he's sort of going in between Thawne and the Wells guys that he had on for so long. Well, if my original, because that original actor playing Thawne is who Thawne really was, right? That was his real body.
Yes, yeah. And when he was on Legends season 2, that was the.
So, I'm a blonde lady. If somehow I ended up switching bodies with somebody, I could see wanting to be blonde again, right? That's how I identify. I identify as a blonde American. So it almost kind of makes sense that if you, he obviously doesn't have room in his cell for hair dye, but it doesn't make sense that you would make yourself look like your original. If that's, boy, I'm taking this down a weird path.
No. That makes sense. It's kind of weird because you also have that clock on the wall, and we don't really know what that means.
That is a mystery.
Mm-hmm. Actually, our buddy Ashley at River8878 pointed out on Twitter, she seemed very struck by this episode. So I'm gonna try to be as exasperated as I can as I read this. So WTF is up with Thawne and the Flash? 51 minutes into what? And can Sherlock actually access everything on Gideon? And we learn it is basically his fault again that he's messing with Barry's life. So yeah.
I do think you would want security protocols on Gideon, like a password or something.
Yeah, well, I think she's so hidden, that they figure, well, no one will be able to find her unless they're looking for her.
So it just seems smart.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Team Flash.
Yeah. But it's also when did he who deleted all those entries on Nora? And what was going on? It was probably, yeah, my guess is it was probably Thawne in the past when he was Wells. I wonder if maybe he I'm trying to lay it out. This is all a theory. We don't know that this is what's happening. But my guess is, you remember when Barry and Nora visited Thawne when they were trying to find all the stuff to make that weapon?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe he saw her and realized oh, I can use that. and then deleted all of the entries, and then somehow, as he was getting killed at the end of season 1, he found a way to jump back for a very brief period of time to track down Nora, tell her who she was, but he's going to have to go back and die at the end of that 51 minutes.
Okay. All right. I like that.
This is the theory. This is the theory.
It's the Ed theory. I like it.
Mm-hmm. So you know, that I don't think that's going to make Ashley feel any better, but it's a possible explanation. So that's what's up. What did you think of our bad guys here, Silver Ghost and, you know, to a lesser extent, Weather Witch?
Poor Weather Witch. She just wanted to stay in jail. What a strange problem to have.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like, now you're gonna have this feeling now. It seemed kind of oddly timed. But yeah, you know, but it turned out she was helpful in the end. And we didn't catch Silver Ghost, did we? I think she
I don't believe so. And, you know, I kind of like a villain who's just like, oh yeah, I'm bad. I like fast cars. I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That I enjoy that sort of glee with being a lawbreaker. So if she wants to come back, that'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and she's, you know, I wonder if she'll hook up with Cicada, or if Cicada will take her down somehow. I don't know. Yeah, and you know, she certainly, like, Barry was really put out of commission. You know, like, this metatech stuff is dangerous.
It is. The actual reason, as probably astute viewers figured out, was this was filmed around the time of Elseworlds, and a lot of Elseworlds was being filmed in Chicago, so they didn't have access to Grant Gustin, which is why he ended up having to cool his heels. Mostly what I want to know is, are they gonna publish that book for real? The mixed Cage Desire romance novel. I want that to happen so badly, you have no idea. There are so many romance novelists who you could hire to ghostwrite mixed book, and it would be delightful and so much fun, and I would buy it. I'm just saying, think about it, CW, think about it.
Oh, I'm sure a staff writer is probably working on it right now in between episodes.
I'm thinking about the Rick Castle, like, Caged Heat, whatever it was called. That actually got published, didn't it?
Yes.
So
Cage Desire, Uncaged Desire. Yeah.
Well, no. The Castle book on the TV show Castle, I think.
Okay.
Or something Heat. I don't know. But they actually did publish the book that he was working on in the show, and they put the character's name on it as the author. Anyway, it's there's precedent. Give us the book, is what I'm saying.
All right. And
anyway.
Yeah. And Cisco and Caitlin, is Cisco going to be around at the end of this season? I'm worried.
I mean, I looked. Ed tweeted at me, kind of alarmed, on Tuesday. Hey, are there any rumors about him leaving the show? And I looked, and I don't see anything. I didn't see anything. But it really feels like a show taking the time to lay the groundwork for a beloved longtime character to make a graceful exit. We don't have any knowledge of that, but I mean, I'm with you, Ed. That really feels like what they're trying to do there.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it's season 5 of the show, and you know, some characters only have so much they can do with the arc, and he's been on a wild ride. But like, I love Cisco, and like, you know, you can't replace Cisco. I mean, you know, bring in Sue so we can get rid of Ralph. I don't know.
And I wonder if it's an actor thing, that it's been 5 seasons, and maybe that actor, you know, Carlos Valdez, would like to move on to other things. I've seen no reporting that would indicate that, but at first I was like, gosh, this is kind of coming out of nowhere. All this, I want a family and a normal life and this and that. But then I thought, well, you know, he had that terrible breakup with his meta alt universe girlfriend. He had to, you know, keep his powers on the DL. They really have sort of built him toward, he's had a lot of big changes, and maybe he is contemplating. So it's interesting. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. And of course we downplayed the fact that, you know, Caitlyn's found a way to control her Killer Frost powers now.
as always, the thing I'm most interested in this episode is, Caitlin can just flip back and forth at will and has used her powers for like help in her job setting, and we didn't see any of it. As always, the evolution of Caitlin happens off screen, and I would really like to have seen more of it. Dang it, Flash.
Sorry. I'm sure we'll get to it.
No, it's already done. She's already got it. It's past. It's too late.
All right. But I do like the way they're creepily sort of, Killer Frost is her own character, and the way she sort of the tiffs that she was having back and forth with Cisco, that you could see Killer Frost kind of like poke her head out every now and then just to give it a nice zinger.
I love it. Love it. So, okay, I have a question. First of all, this is not a question, this is a statement. That's no way to start anything. First of all, this isn't a question. But the Central City legal system is still a mess.
Yes.
That's not how court cases work.
Yeah.
But second of all, isn't it going to be kind of a problem in 25 years when Nora's hanging out with Iris and presumably Barry, because we're not going to actually kill Barry off. I mean, like, she's being very public, and her last name is West, and she's testifying and things, and there's going to be pictures and documents, and then aren't people going to know that she's I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's historical record now of her existing in 2019. So in 2020, whatever, aren't people going to be like, wait, didn't you have a tech who had your last name, who looked exactly like your daughter, who has your last name, and also the same first name?
Yeah, I don't think they're thinking it through. I think.
Okay, you said a mouthful. The Flash team is not thinking it through.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. I think it's that we didn't have Grant, and we had to put someone on the stand there because this had to be a Cecile episode because Jessiel Martin isn't back yet.
I guess. I just feel like at the very least they should have given her a cover name.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. You know, they could have called her Laura.
Laura Best.
All right. Anything more you want to talk about with the episode?
No, just glad it's back. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing Barry and Ralph and when Joe comes back, Joe. So let's keep doing it.
All right.
News-wise, just a couple little things. One is that we're still getting interviews where they're promising / threatening that Iris is going to return to journalism. So that's apparently still on the agenda for this season. And the February 5th episode title is Gold-Faced, which the comicbook.com article tells me references perhaps a famous Green Lantern villain.
Oh, Goldface?
Goldface.
Yes.
He sounds terrifying. Or she. I don't know.
Well, I don't know much about Goldface. Just that, he was a Silver Age Green Lantern villain. And Green Lantern, when Hal Jordan got the ring back in the 50s, one of the main, his weakness, his kryptonite is that his ring does not work on anything that's colored yellow. So of course we're going to throw him a villain that's made out of gold.
So I have questions. Like bananas?
Yeah.
Or the sun?
Yeah. Yeah. Or, street signs, it's anything yellow, his powers can't affect.
Are yellow and green on opposite ends of the color spectrum wheel?
Well, it's, green is made up of yellow and blue. So
no.
Yeah. No. If you want to dig deeper, the way Jeff Johns kind of brought that out is yellow on the emotional spectrum. Green is willpower, which is the most powerful emotion. Yellow is fear. So, in order to use the Green Lantern, a Green Lantern ring properly, you need to be able to overcome fear. Sinestro has a yellow ring, and he basically uses fear-mongering to control his part of the universe and operate his the core that he goes. It's a whole big thing with the color spectrum. It's a big long thing that's really cool and exciting. And go read Green Lantern comics from the last 15 years. And yeah, go please check that out, and it will make you wonder, like, this is so sprawling and amazing, and god damn it, why can't they do a proper movie and TV show about this? I don't know.
Do you think Green Lantern would work better as a movie or TV show? I mean, like, could you see it as a TV show, or do you think it needs the big splashy movie budget?
It is really hard to think of as a TV show. I mean, I think it, like, narratively it would make more sense, but it's just the special effects to pull that off properly. And I don't even know if a movie can handle it, because, you know, they tried it and it you know, it didn't really work. I think it may just be something that you have to experience animated. I don't know. Cause like his best mission, like the problem with any movie like this, it's like Masters of the Universe, where it's like, oh, it's He-Man, it's an Eternia, but, you know, we have a movie budget, so he's gonna be operating on Earth, which, come on, we're like, none of Green Lantern's stories, none of the cool stuff takes place on Earth. It's always out in the middle of space. You know, it's you know, imagine like Star Trek without a ship. You know, he's a space cop, so he's got to be dealing with on these far off planets with all of these crazy aliens. So yeah, I don't know how you do that. I'm sure it can be done, but to be done properly it seems like it would be very, very difficult, even in today's modern times. But we're talking about the Flash, right?
Honestly, I don't remember.
So
yes, that was it that I had for the Flash.
Goldface. Okay.
Gold-faced. So we may see a Lantern villain. Who knows?
Okay. All right. You ready for next episode? Here we go. We're jumping right in. Here we go. Next up is Gotham, Season 5, Episode 3, Legend of the Dark Knight. Penguin, our hero. Bruce followed the newly healed Selina to the Dark Zone, looking for Jeremiah. Jim scrambled to defend Haven from Penguin, who was furious Mr. Penn and his staff had defected. Last-minute reveal, an enormous explosion struck Haven, and Jim stood helpless as all of the apartments were up in flames.
This was a dark episode.
Yes, it was.
But I will say it gave me a glimmer of hope, because I always have this kind of running conversation about, in a post-apocalyptic world, where do I fit in? I don't have actual skills. I teach journalism. That's not really, I don't make arrows. I can't make soap, whatever. But you know what I could do, Ed? I could be a terrified member of a choir, forced to sing for Dear Leader. I have found my role. I'm a singer. I can sing. I could be in that choir. So, yes, thank you, Gotham. I found my role.
Yes. Okay. You're excited that that's your role. All right.
I'm just so thrilled. What do you bring to the compound? Oh, I can be a member of your terrified choir. All right, cool. Welcome. Welcome to Bullet Land.
Living in fear that the despot could destroy you at any moment. All right, that's fine.
It's better than having no purpose at all.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a 1 in 6 chance the gun will misfire when he shoots you, when he tries to shoot you. You know, so.
Well, you're making me feel really bad about the role I've chosen for myself.
I'm just saying, you know, it's not the most attractive option. That's just.
All right, so I assume that means that you will be a part of the Jeremiah murder gang? I don't know.
How about we just not end up in the apocalypse? Let's just leave Gotham before all this goes down. That's, you know, that seems sensible. But yeah. So Penguin had a chance to be a hero. I do love how the street demon, like, you know, Edward Nygma tricked the street demons into attacking him, and then immediately they end up working for Penguin.
It didn't go so well.
So yeah, that was kind of a false flag last week that they were he's trying to start a war, and failing miserably, evidently. I thought this was a good Oswald episode.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that dynamic with him and Jim was good. Jim, like, I'm loving Jim Gordon's speeches to everybody, just like the oozing with leadership and everything. And I know it's going to get old, but I still enjoy that moment that's happening every episode now. Where he just turns to everybody and like, hey, all right, let's stay together. No fighting. You know, let's do this for Gotham.
I just want meta commentary on it every week. Another of Jim's speeches. That Jim Gordon, he gives a good speech.
Yeah. Now, I have a question. When Jim gave that can of pineapple to Will Thomas, how long did you think Will thought about whether or not he should tell Jim he's allergic to pineapple?
I bet it kept him up at night. I mean, I bet he, like, it tore him up inside because it's a kindness, but I can't, Jim. I feel like that probably would have ruined that little tyke's day.
Yeah. So the so we got Haven. Harvey went to Babs for help, and Babs ended up showing up at the end at just the wrong time. Real quick, just one thing I do want to address about Babs. I was listening to Gotham Lights this week. Steph and Hannah, we love those guys. But Steph made a comment about what I was saying last week about Babs' haircut, which neither of us are fond of. Am I right, Sarah?
I don't think anybody's fond of it. My sister texts me every week with how bad Babs' hair is. This is widespread. Mm-hmm. You, me, and my sister. Anyway, continue.
Yes. So there's the pixie cut, the short, and Steph thought that when I was saying that I thought the haircut was too masculine, and I just want to clarify, I did not say it was masculine. I said it was boyish. And by that, I mean, she looks like a 10-year-old boy. And
the pixie cut is very feminine. It just, on some women, it does make them, and I agree on her, it sort of works aging in reverse.
Yeah, it gives this weird kind of, almost androgynous feel that's just distracting. I don't know. I would just rather focus on how much she's a badass and how angry she is right now. Because they're doing great character work with her. I think her storyline in this is great.
Well, and I think the best argument for that terrible hair, honestly, is it's a post-apocalypse. She doesn't want to have to worry and fix it up and blah, blah, blah. So it's very practical. And I really like that she's not doing, last week I made fun of Jim and Bruce for having pomade and things like that. Babs doesn't. I mean, she's just got the hair that you can wash and go. And that's actually kind of cool because it tells you what her mindset is. So I still don't think it's flattering or attractive, but I get it. And actually it's kind of cool character work. So
yeah.
That's what I'll go with.
Yeah. All right, now let's talk about Bruce and Selena. Our buddy Bowerfett pointed out that on Twitter that we have a bat grappling gun. Yay!
Well, so Selena got the evil eyeliner of evil. Television has taught me that when you have eyeliner like that, you are evil. That's what it means. Mm-hmm. So yay for the glow up. I super enjoyed this. I liked her delight at being back and healthy and what it drove her to do, and thumbs up for this storyline.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, we see Bruce is developing his tech, and even the stuff like the grappling gun. I think that's cool. We got to meet the mutants and Mutant Leader. I thought that was a cool scene.
That was so cool. So I know I've said this before, but this is the Dark Knight Rises. It's the one comic book I've read multiple times, so I actually have opinions. And I put out there on Twitter, I don't know how to say this delicately, but Mutant Leader needed weirder nipples. That's all I'm saying. In the graphic novel, they're really upsetting protuberances. And he just has normal man nipples, and I was actually a little disappointed. But Bowerfett did tweet back that I shouldn't nipple shame him. He's doing the best he can in Gotham right now, and that's a good point. But he looked like the comic. He had the slice and dice right from the comics. That was a lot of fun. Yay!
Yeah, I blame the makeup artist.
They really more rouge on the nipples. I'm saying that's all.
And that was such a brief fight, and I don't know if we'll see him again. I hope we do.
I hope so too.
Yeah, but that was a cool fight, and you got to see Selena is really getting ruthless. And
it did not take long. This transition, I didn't know if it would take like more of her fighting against that dark nature, but no, she's just there.
yeah, and they didn't find Jeremiah, but they did find Echo, who turned Jeremiah into this weird religious, cult icon.
Can I digress just a second? I super loved the iconography in this episode, that you have the prayer candles and kind of the dear leader things painted on walls for him, and then Penguin's got that sort of Soviet Diego Rivera style murals of everybody working together toward that great glorious goal. I really like what they're doing with those sort of wall background visuals. Very cool stuff. I'm sorry, keep going.
Oh yeah, definitely. But Echo, we said we were going to get Harley Quinn in this season. I think this is what they were talking about. Echo's pretty much dressed like Harley Quinn, and she starts calling Selena Puddin', and I'm sorry, I wasn't buying it. I wasn't really into it.
Oh, thank you. My notes actually say #not my Harley. She just doesn't have that joie de vivre, right? She's so like humorless and blech, and Harley's not. It's not my Harley.
No. I feel like if you're gonna do like Harley Quinn, you could do Harleen Quinzel, and I think this isn't the right season for her. If you're gonna introduce her, you could have done it in like season 2 or 3, but don't have her turn into Harley Quinn. Just have her be this quirky kid who's Bruce and Selena's age, who's really, really smart, but has this weird jokey side to her. Same reason I lament. I think the biggest fault of the show is how they mishandled Harvey Dent, because Harvey Dent is Bruce Wayne's childhood best friend.
Yeah,
and they made him, and he was only in, like a part of one season, and he was a grown up and already a lawyer and already a district attorney. But nonetheless, we got to see Harley, a version of Harley here. And I thought that fight scene was really cool, but I wish they'd just gone a different way with that character.
Yeah, I just wanted more joy and less hissing menace, and also maybe less like circle of death pool scene. That was just dark.
Yeah. All right. But there were things to like in this episode.
Yeah.
And I think this is the simplest episode of Gotham I've seen in a while, where there's only 2 storylines. We didn't get any Ed this episode. We still haven't seen Jeremiah in the flesh, and we still don't know what's going on with Lee Tompkins or Dr. Hugo Strange. So,
I also miss Alfred. He popped up last week, but we haven't had a lot of Alfred.
Yeah. I think it's kind of because a lot of times he's just covering for Bruce. He hasn't had like an active storyline. But I have noticed that Gotham tends to do stories in 3s. So, maybe we'll see more of him show up next week, and more of those other characters show up next week. See how they expand it. But there's only 9 episodes left. There's only 9 episodes left in the show.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
That's a lot to cover.
Yeah, but all right. Is there anything more you wanted to say about the episode?
I felt like at one point Selena said something with a little bit of a cat hiss, and that excited me. So.
Oh yeah. They're trying to lay on.
That's all.
They're trying to lay that cat imagery on thick this episode. They're trying to say like, no, like
I'll allow it.
like now it's happening. Okay, yeah, I do too. I'll allow it. I'll allow it, McCoy. All right. So what news do we have on Gotham?
So TV Guide had a pretty big article on the shape of the rest of the season. So we're not going to have to wait terribly long to find out who set off that bomb. 2 episodes from now, we should have some answers there. And it sounds like, Ed, I feel like this is really good news for you. We're going to get less of dark Jim Gordon this season, and it's going to be a lot more Boy Scout Jim Gordon.
Yes.
So I think that means more of those speeches.
He's been dark enough. All right. He's been dark enough. And I think he's about ready to start growing that damn stash.
Grow the stash. And the other thing is the season is going to keep pushing Jim and Babs together. They don't have an easy relationship, obviously. And so that's not going to be all like sunshine and puppies and lollipops, but they are going to keep finding themselves, I think, in one another's orbits.
Yeah.
So that is something to keep an eye out for. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
right. From there, we move into news, and we have a lot of news about just a handful of shows this week.
Okay.
And the biggest 2 sources of news are for 2 of the shows that are returning this week, starting with Supergirl. So we have a new promo for the shape of the season to come a little bit. And it looks like in an EW interview, the showrunners say the back half of the season is going to be a little lighter and funnier, a little bit less about, racial and ethnic discrimination and real world allegories. And I am pleased to hear that. I thought the show did really well the first half of the season, but it wasn't always fun. And so it's going to be more fun. I will say that doesn't fit the mood of the promo that they put out, though. The promo looks very serious.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Kara's in trouble.
Yeah. I'm worried that her secret identity is not gonna...
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying the Colonel is not going to stop until she finds out who she is, which is damn it.
Yeah. Be less tenacious. The same article says that Alex is going to make a sacrifice to protect Kara's secret. And we are going to see, of course, more of the Red Daughter storyline. I mean, that just makes sense that we're going to see that ramp up in the back half. And all of the storylines are going to dovetail the anti-alien sentiment, Red Daughter, all of that.
Okay.
Let's see what else. Naya's family, we're going to have an episode with them. We're going to get more of her backstory, where she comes from. They're apparently supportive people. And so that's going to be kind of a cool tone that the show's going to take. John Cryer actually starts shooting this week as Lex Luthor. And he is going to be a large, delicious villain about whom Kara feels pressure to handle well and carefully, because he is her cousin's biggest foil. So she feels like she has to do right by this villain, and she can't, let him skate, because that's Superman's big nemesis.
All right.
And then last thing, kind of bad news. When they had talked about bringing back sometime this season, he's actually not going to make an appearance probably until season 5, apparently.
Aw.
Yeah.
All right.
Just scheduling things. He's on Broadway. He's a busy guy.
Well, but Brainy's holding down the fort, so we're okay.
That's right. Brainy is, perhaps you could say, a friend, a super friend. So
I saw that in the trailer.
Yeah. Fan service. It's okay. Okay, moving on to Arrow, which is also back this week. We have a trailer for upcoming episodes of Arrow as well. A lot of focus on Amiko. She actually is going to be the focus of this first episode back. She feels abandoned by the Queens, and that is going to put some friction into her relationship with Oliver.
Yeah,
she
and
also said that yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, she has reason to feel abandoned, because, they kind of abandoned her. Her siblings have no idea who she is. her dad kind of abandoned her, never talked about her, and then died. So yeah. And we don't know who her mother is yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to be answered there. Yes, uh, I also saw an interview that said that she's not replacing Thea, but like she's literally a new younger sister for Oliver. So
Yeah.
how's that not? Yeah. Let's see. In other news, Elicity apparently is back on track. No more friction. They're good. Thank goodness. And William is going to come home, which is interesting because he talks in the flash forwards about how he was abandoned and this and that. So it's curious that, well, I'm curious how that's going to shake out. Episode 16 is going to be all flash forward.
Ooh, okay.
No, don't make a happy noise. I'm already depressed. Unless this is their chance to redeem the flash forwards and make them less relentlessly grimdark.
Maybe.
Awkward laugh. Let's see. Renee will and I'm kind of hopping around. There's TV Guide articles about this, EW.com articles about this, TV Line article about this. Renee is going to continue to be Emiko's biggest supporter, so we're going to see those two interact quite a bit. The mid-season premiere this week is going to feature the Ghost Initiative, which I think is kind of a Suicide Squad-ish situation with China White, Carrie Cutter, Slade's hot son Kane. Hot is my addition, and of course Ricardo Diaz, because we can't have nice things. I don't know. Ghost Initiative, is that a thing that you look forward to?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know much about it. I have read some stuff with the Ghost Initiative. You're right. It's basically like a covert ops thing, but it's really more tinged towards villains. Yeah. I love those Suicide Squad stories, and I think that's a cool way to go about it. And why the heck are they letting Ricardo Diaz out of that cell? And I thought he was dead. Damn it.
Yeah, I would be a lot more excited if Diaz wasn't involved, and also that's a lot of extra characters to focus on. I don't know. This is a cast of thousands at this point. Which is a lot, but cool. Let's see. We're going to have a Birds of Prey episode headed by Laurel. There is not any news on who the other members might be. I mean, Felicity's kind of been Oracle. Yeah. But that's not promised either way.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was an episode called Birds of Prey in season 2 where you had Sara Lance and Huntress, and those were the original Birds of Prey. It was Huntress, Black Canary, and Oracle. So I don't know if Huntress is gonna come back, or if they're gonna do something else and maybe bring like Spoiler into it. I don't know.
I'll be curious. I mean, my feelings on Laurel are strong, and you've all heard them. So, on the other hand, I'm open to a Birds of Prey idea. That's cool. We apparently also are going to get an episode that focuses on, or I shouldn't say focuses on, but that's going to include Laurel's backstory on her Earth. And there's going to be a big question about, is she redeemable? Can she be redeemed? Or is she a villain through and through? Let's see what else. Rumors of Felicity's death. Of course, the showrunner would not confirm or deny. She didn't say, oh yeah, Felicity's really dead. Well, there might be a little more to that. Okay, we see you. Okay, I feel like I just burbled everything about the rest of the season, except episode 150 airs on February 4th. It is going to be in the documentary style. The documentary, The Hood and the Rise of Vigilantism, will follow Oliver and his crew around. And it's going to be kind of like The Office, where characters sort of self-consciously look at the camera. It sounds amazing. And the documentary is going to be narrated by Kelsey Grammer. I love all of this.
I'm listening.
It sounds a lot of fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. So,
you think this is the consolation prize they gave him when he didn't get the chief in Doom Patrol?
Maybe, or maybe he didn't have time to film it, and they were like, "Okay, well, you don't have time, but could you do this one episode?" And he said, "Certainly." Seattle, you're on the air.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a lot of stuff I just gave you, but cool.
Yeah. All right. A lot of stuff with Supergirl and Arrow. All right.
Yes. And then 2 little snippets about Lucifer, which we haven't talked about in quite some time. But apparently this upcoming season, which has moved to Netflix, as we all know, Ella has a bit of a crisis of faith and starts to spiral.
No!
I know, I'm sorry, Ed. She gets a little dark, sex, drugs, rock and roll, questioning
Not
God.
Ella.
I know. We're going to meet some more of her family. I am hoping that she will end in a good place. Apparently she'll stay vibrant and upbeat and all the things that she already is. It's just that she's not going to be quite as,
Man,
as
I want to fly to Los Angeles, find that actress, and give her a hug, which I know is probably not the right thing to do, but
it's a great way to meet her security team.
Oh, you think the fifth leader on a network drama gets a security team?
No, I do not.
Okay. But okay, all right. This is something for the character. But Ella's such a nice person. I feel bad. All right.
Well, I think that those two things aren't necessarily. I mean, you can still be a nice person, but I hope it doesn't make her mean. I hope it just makes her,
Yeah. I hope she's okay. I hope Ella's okay.
Yeah. We don't want her to be unhappy.
Yeah. And I know she's a fictional character, but I hope she's okay.
I agree. I think we all feel a little protective of Ella. She's just so good and so pure. So, yeah. Let's see. That leads to also then the question of when are we going to see these episodes? So we have a couple of clues on Twitter. Rachel Harris's Twitter, just in a Twitter response to somebody, she said she thinks it'll premiere in the spring of this year. And then Amy Garcia says April or May is what she's thinking. My thought is, if they actually knew a date, they wouldn't be so vague, or they'd be vague. But I mean, with her saying April or May, I don't think they know the date.
Well, I think because Netflix is very tight-lipped, and usually lately they've only been announcing shows drop dates within 2 or 3 weeks of them happening.
Yeah, Punisher. So. Didn't we get notice of the Punisher next season last week, and now it's here?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. I think it was 2 weeks they gave. So, that it may be that Netflix is saying no, you don't say anything, and we'll drop it when we say. So, I mean, April and May looks like it's going to be the busiest time because that's when a lot of shows are ending and a lot of shows are beginning again. So, I hope it's toward the latter half of May, or maybe into June. Although now they'll announce Krypton's coming back then. But yeah, we're still trying to figure out how we're gonna cover that. I think we might just do one big binge. But so TBD on that. But the fact that
as soon as we figure it out,
we know a target. I think that's exciting. I think that's things are coming together, and yeah, and all the stuff that we've seen from that show, the promos and the photos and everything looks really cool. So I just can't wait for it to get here. All right.
that is what we have for news this week.
That's the news. 3 shows. All right. So now it's time for our winners for the week. And
do you want me to go first?
Sure, you can go first.
All right. My winner for the week is Barry Allen, because that dude got to cool his heels in a cell where he got to lay down and read a romance novel while everybody else did stuff. Hey, Barry, that's actually my best life. So congratulations.
Oh, it also, there was one moment 3/4 of the way through that episode where he just went on the intercom and just went, "Hey, could you guys sink down some food?
I'm hungry."
It's there are other bad guys in that pipeline. Do they remember to feed them? Is that a scheduled thing? What's going on?
Is the pipeline full of corpses? Starved corpses? That turned dark.
What happens on the weekends?
They need a creature handler like the legends have, apparently.
Yeah. So, all right. My winner for the week is Strained Alliances. And I think the episode in Flash, you had Nora and Thawne, who evidently are working together, and Nora has decided to keep up her end of the bargain, but you know, there's a tension because you know, Nora realized, oh, you want to destroy my dad. And in Gotham, the obvious strained alliance, of course, was between Oswald Cobblepot and Jim Gordon. You know, that Gordon and the Penguin don't really like each other, definitely don't trust each other, but had to work together to get through this episode. And in the end, Jim ended up saving Penguin from Babs. So yeah. So that's my theme. That's my winner for this week.
All right, that's good. You always bring the good content, and I bring the Barry. We all have our roles to play.
Yeah, no, both were fine. All right, so that's it. That's the episode. We did a podcast. That was cool.
We did a podcast.
So that's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD.
I'm at Sara Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory Podcast and Preacher vs. Preacher. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam.
Shazam!